Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here on Mount Schmoedown for another spectacular episode here where we talk about the Golden Mike, Emma Fyffe. She's been everywhere inside the Schmoedown. Like, she's been doing cutscenes. She's been on the desk. She's played in singles, teams, intergeekdom. She's been a manager. She's helped with the Patreon. She's probably helped at live events. Like, she has done everything involved with the Schmoedown.
Anything that was asked of her, anything that was asked of her, she was more than welcome to be a part of it. She never. I mean, one thing when we're going to talk about her, one thing I do enjoy about Emma is that she does not really back down or say no to something. At least when when it suits her. But God, oh my God, I got so much to say about Emma. I don't want to overload my brain right now.
You don't want to do it all at once. But no, I think she is very under talked about inside the Schmoedown. It's probably because she's not involved this season, so I think a lot of people just forgot about her. Like, she was actually supposed to be a manager of a faction.
She was.
She decided that she just didn't want to be involved anymore, so they gave that team to Kate. So she would have had the Den. I mean, it probably would have been called the Five Club.
It was. Yeah, the Five Club really originally was supposed to be Emma and Grace as an advisor. And yeah, when that happened, they announced it on SCN that Emma was stepping away and that Kate was taking the spot. And it was like weeks I think it was like 2.5 weeks till the draft. So that was that was big news, and that they were able, because even then, following Emma, Jay Washington at the time was going to be a manager. He had to step away.
Yeah, he's an advisor to Winston, and I'm going to say, no, that's all Winston. Come on.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to get some advising stuff, but
I think at the beginning it was both of them, but I think Winston finally got a handle on it. So
yeah, he did.
So Emma. She, like, we were first introduced to her. She was doing the post-match interviews before we got Jen Sturger. Now, this is kind of a hot take. I'm not a fan of her in post-match. There were certain people when she was talking with, she seemed a little biased against. There were certain heels that you could just tell she was a little biased against when she was talking to him.
Yeah, I won't downplay that. I mean, Emma, she has always. I personally felt that she's always been very objective. But yeah, it's clear when there's certain heels or certain people she talks with. Yeah, I'm not saying her emotions flare, but you can see some of the bias that plays out. Or it to me. I mean, of course, at the time, a big wrestling fan as I am, I considered that as Emma just being in character. So whenever a heel, was doing their thing, Emma would pretty much just want to shut them down, or give them
shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down. Or she gives them no added loss. Oh, hello, Jeff. What's going on? Yeah, but Emma, I thought that she was like one of the few people next to Jen Sturgeon. I mean, look, when she came on, she was kind of one of the first full-time people to be in a backstage interviewer, because early on it was always switching between Josh McCouga, Riley. The times they had
Grace Hancock. Like season 3, like it was always, it could have been someone new every time. Yeah, and Christian got Emma, who does a great job. She does a great job. I'm not saying she's not good, but Jen Sturger she is just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I will not doubt that. And I'm going to say this, when we do get to talking about Jen Sturger, that is going to be, we're going to have so many, there's going to be, just like with Ken Knapsack, she has so many great one-liners that it would take like a top 10, maybe a top 20 of great.
I think the reason Jen's so good is she understands wrestling. So she knows what Christian wants and is trying to get out of. I don't think Emma knows wrestling that much, but she understands movies. So it's kind of like a good mix. Jen knows movies too, but I just feel like she knows how to talk to people after these post matches to kind of. She basically walks them through so that they don't look incredibly stupid. Like that is a underrated skill that she has that I feel no one's even close on.
Ben, how about you? How your feelings on Emma as a backstage interviewer? Like, did she work for you? Were there certain, or did you feel her like more of a like? What was your overall opinion of her as a backstage interviewer?
I thought she was pretty solid. I thought he was acting like character and not needing to be acted, if that makes sense, with certain factions. Like, you could see, like, what immediately comes to mind is her and, at that time, Finstock, and how they matched and mixed well. I always figured that was part of the storyline, part of the character arcs, and I thought that was really fun and funny to watch.
I mean, it's not always like when people are like talking and chatting and things go weird. It's not just always storyline and character work. They could just not like each other.
Yeah, I mean, with Emma, it was. I mean, with Finstock and Emma, there was a genuine storyline going between them. Starting off,
he locked her in a closet.
Locked her in a closet. Come on. And then Finstock wanted to complain about Robert, and then he complains about Robert Burnett burning his mask. Look at the sins you created in the past. You locked Emma in a closet, Finstock. As much as I hate to see that mask get burned, you had it coming. But still, Emma did get one-ups on him. I mean. Of course, with her playing in the manager bowl, but even then, just the back and forth she always had against the Lions. And my favorite of Emma's poster was the backstage interview between her and Draco after Draco lost to Rachel Cushing in the Schmoedown tournament. And Draco, he went full heel against her because at the time of the Lions Den, and Draco was kind of like the chaotic neutral of the group. But then in that post interview, I remember so well, Emma just was like dancing on his how he scored, some of the questions he didn't get right, and it got Mark, and he went full heel on her. It was the rarest time we can see that out of Draco.
It's just so ironic, though. It's so ironic because who's her first competitor as a manager?
Draco. But even then, I think even with that, I mean, Emma Fyffe, I don't think of course, as a babyface character, I don't think she herself shows so many heelish moments. Like when she's on when she's on the desk, when it just comes down to, of course, with people missing basic questions or with someone giving a snide comment to her, she doesn't hesitate to shoot right back at them. Because rewatching her matches, which when we get to talk about her statistics, her match, the Night Sisters against Team Action's debut, Bateman, he immediately just says to Emma, trying to get under her nerves, "Hey Emma, you stink," and her response was, "Oh, I don't smell as bad as the store-bought cologne that you had purchased." That I mean, it may have not gotten like the biggest burn drops, but Bateman did not say shit to her afterwards.
Yeah.
All he did was just comment on the missing questions. Other than that, it was just kind of, I'm not going to try to get under her skin because it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, she has a very thick skin. Good luck trying to get underneath her or just get her frustrated by using your words. She's one of those competitors that I've noticed that, and managers or people within the Schmoedown, that you can say anything to her and she'll just let it roll off her shoulders. Does not bother her whatsoever.
That's why I thought she worked well for me as a backstage interviewer, because of heels or guys like Snyder, or like whenever Roca gets passionate, whenever you see situations like, come on, let's be honest. If Emma was there during season 3, during the backstage interviews between the Roca and Mance rivalry, I'm pretty sure it would not have gotten as heated between those two, but she would have been the person to maybe, I mean, I'm not saying she would have physically shut it down, but she really would have put some ice. She would have been a cooler in that situation to where Vance and Roku would not have gotten so hot over each other. But then let's not forget, the reason why we love the Vance and Roku rivalry is because those guys were so they were hot on each other. They kept slashing insults. They kept trying to push each other's buttons. It's one of the things we like about the Schmoedown, but when it comes with backstage interviews, it's kind of like this is the cool down moment. We don't need emotions to flare out, but let's be honest, you can't control what happens during interviews.
I mean, you sort of can if you have someone that can kind of walk these competitors through it. Like you can kind of give them questions where there's only one way to really answer it, or if you're an agent of chaos, you give them a question that could go any sort of way, and sometimes those are actually really entertaining.
Well, again, I think that's what makes Chen so good, because she knows how to navigate through that.
She does. She's simply amazing at navigating those post matches.
Yeah, but
what is up? Call sign Party J. Thanks, Partis, for stopping by.
How's it going?
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Appreciate it. So
there is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. Let's just get started.
Yeah. So her first match as a competitor, not on the desk or post matches, was a teams match against, you just talked about a few minutes ago, Ben Bateman and Team Action, the Night Sisters. Her and Joelle Monique had their first match there in season 4 against them. They did end up losing that match.
Yeah.
But
TKO, but you know.
Yeah, but Ben and Drew, that round 1 weren't that good. I mean, I think that might actually been their first match as well. I think
it was their debut. Yeah, because during Christian and I think it was Ken and Mark, or Christian and Ken were talking about them debuting as well. Like it was 2 team debuts, Night Sisters and Team Action. It was before. Jesus Christ, sorry, but my brother's watching the game, so
let's go.
I thought it might have been a clip from the match.
Which part of the match?
No, I thought that. Never mind.
Oh, I'll ask him. I'll ask him maybe. But you know, yeah, it was it was both their team debuts. This was before Action. They were the heel characters, but they weren't 100% into it until maybe like after their loss against the Nerds Watch. But even then, the first round really was kind of a bit rough. It was kind of like slightly even going into that second round. Of course, Night Sisters, they spin. I mean, they get Tom Hanks when they as a mulligan, and they didn't really do well, only getting 2 points in that category, with Action stealing 4 points.
One thing that I noticed about Emma watching these matches was she checked down in round 2 almost every single, like if she did not know the answer, she would not guess. There were some times where they would read the questions and she'd go multiple choice like 2 or 3 seconds after the question was finished. Like she had no idea, which is a smart thing to do. It's better to have a 1 point steal than a 2 point steal, because that is a huge point swing. So it's a good way of playing the game. Like you're just like, 1 point still allows me to stay close. So it's,
and with 1 point steals, even if the opponents don't know it, it's better to risk them choosing 3 out of 4 options instead of a complete guess, or if they might immediately know it. I mean, that's the one thing with multiple choice. Sometimes you make a greater risk of your opponent stealing it, but then at the same time, you do soften the blow by them only just getting 1 point. And with Emma, she's clearly, and she's not afraid to admit it, she doesn't watch movies a lot. She's passionate about other subjects, which is, when we do talk about her in Air Geekdom, she's passionate about Harry Potter. She's passionate about Star Wars because she was a co-host of Collider Jedi Council with Ace and Ken Knapsack. And she
does have a Star Wars podcast on the First Cut YouTube channel with Ace.
Yes.
Yep.
So she loves Star Wars. She's
passionate about something. She knows it, and she's not afraid to admit that. And so I never falter when she ever goes to multiple choice. It's like, okay, you may have not seen Big, or you are unfamiliar with Julia Roberts' career. That's okay. I mean, let's be honest. Not everybody else is familiar with Julia Roberts' career, because there's some gems in there that we forget about. So I always, I think with Emma, I mainly just give her a pass almost all the time, because I immediately latched on to her. I think after, because I got introduced to Emma after her match, after the 5-way match when she debuted in Inner Geekdom.
The one with Charlie Feldman, Coy Jandreau, Eric Ibushi, and Mike the Killer Kalinowski.
Which I think that was also the same episode, which was the debut of Mike, Roxy, Adam Girdler, and Johnny LaQuaso forming the League, another faction.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys something. Do you think if she had the time and if she put in the studying, can you see Emma doing well in the Star Wars League today?
I was actually
that's a lot of studying. It's not 60 days, Ben Bateman. No, it is like you gotta watch these movies like probably once a week, each one once a week, heavy note taking because they will pull anything from those movies. I don't know if she has the time. That's the thing. I don't know if she has the time because now we're at what 3, 5, 8, like 12 movies I think now.
Let's see, and you count the 9 trilogies, and then Solo, Rogue One, the Clone Wars, 12. Yeah,
12 movies. So that's almost 2 a day. You're thinking what 4.5 hours probably.
Yeah,
it's a lot of time out of your day. And the thing is, you probably pause it at certain moments to write down your notes.
Yeah.
I think it's a good 6 to 9 months. A good 6 to 9 months. Now, it helps that she has really good base knowledge. So she can really only need to invest in things that aren't blatantly obvious. Like, what was... Ace, I can't believe you got this one. What was the ticket number in The Last Jedi when they're on Canto Bight? That, to me, is just... insane how he didn't even blink.
Or this answer he got. How many cannons were there in the Empire in the trench during the Rebels' assault on the Death Star?
See, that is something that he was studying. Like that is not something that's said in the movies. It might be in one of those like making of books, but again, it's not something that you would probably find just casually watching the movie. You would have to be dedicated, probably pause it to find out what the canon. Star Wars setting is just on a whole nother level. I wouldn't mind seeing Emma trying to see how she would do in Star Wars. The way the Star Wars division is now, it's extremely tough.
I go back and forth on this, but I really was going to bring this up because I do believe that she could do well in Star Wars. I mean, I don't think she's going to be. I think that she can reach the level that Ace and Dylan Malanta and Laura Kelly are at. I think right now, because after her teams matches, like after that second teams match against Deep Cuts, when the Night Sisters once again lost by TKO again, she transitions to Inner Geekdom, and she does have that base knowledge. But at the same time, like most of us, there's also bias on other films you don't want to remember or you don't want to watch or you don't want to remember that exist. So, but still, I think mainly because of their two strengths, I believe are Harry Potter and Star Wars, and the fact that she is a big Harry Potter fan.
And I think a third strength that people don't talk about, Lord of the Rings. I think she's also very good in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. She actually, in her Inner Geekdom knowledge, I think she actually covers some of the other categories that most geek competitors fall off on, because outside of Rachel Cushing and possibly in some cases Kevin Smets, there's not many people that strong in Lord of the Rings. Some have a good knowledge, but not as modern, not enough within a good amount, like not surface knowledge, but I mean that has a mixture of the deep cuts, but then also of some of the added features that stuff that you would see in extended cuts or behind the scenes.
Yeah, that exhibition match this year, that Lord of the Rings, which I believe is public. I believe it is public.
Yes, it is.
Is one of my favorite match. The amount of overtimes that thing went through with Damon and Parker is just amazing. Like, I knew a majority of those questions. I actually did know a majority. There were a few where I'm like, yeah. It was mostly when they went to the Hobbit movie questions where I was like, I'm not as big of a fan of those ones as I am of the original 3. I love the first 3. So, but she has those strengths that I think a lot of people don't really have, like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter has hurt a lot of IG competitors, even some of the professional ones like Kalinowski, like Cushing herself, like Mara Kanopik. Even earlier on when Jason Inman was trying to do his run, Harry Potter also hurt him as well. Even in Inman's match against Kanopik, Lord of the Rings also hurt him. So I think with Emma, like if she did like Ace choose to solely focus on Star Wars, counting her podcast with Ace, the fact that she has a working professional relationship with him,
that would be a great match. By the way, I would love to see an Ace Emma Star Wars match.
Yeah,
I would love to see Ken just do an exhibition against Emma in Star Wars, honestly, because I think that would be very fantastic. I mean, a fun exhibition match, a 3-way between the former Jedi Council's hosts, Ken, Ace, and Emma. We already got Ken and Ace.
Well, Ken has officially retired from competing. Christian did say, though, that he is still on the desk. He actually posted that in the Facebook group. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I got so excited. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
That's where Ken belongs. Ken belongs on the desk.
I can still dream, but it's like Superman in what's good about the truth, justice, the American way. I won't stop dreaming until it becomes a reality. And I'm quoting a comic here, guys. But I would love to see dream matches on the Schmoedown sooner or later. But even though my final button on this, I do believe that Emma, if she chooses to compete again, I think Star Wars could be the perfect division for her because the talent and the competitors in that league, I think they would help inspire, maybe even motivate Emma to rise to that challenge.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. So she did have a second match against Deep Cuts, which was Thad Williams and
Aaron. Not Willem, because they made a joke on his last name, but he was one of the editor. He was like one of the earlier editors of the Schmoedown.
Yeah, he actually did it up to last season, and then it was given to Nerd Chronic, who has just. I can't even put into words what that man has done. He has just he knocked it out of the goddamn universe. Like anytime that there's a promo, because lately this season I haven't been watching the pre-match stuff. No offense to Christian and Mark, it gets a little bit chatty and long. So basically, I will watch the promo and then I'll go straight to the match because I'm like, I gotta watch the promo to see what Nerd Chronic did. So. Aaron Wilhelm.
Aaron Wilhelm.
Okay, final score. Yeah, you had it right. 14-18, they lost by TKO.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit unfortunate though. I mean, the match, it was slightly also another even set match, but of course, Deep Cuts, they at least had some like going back and forth. Actually, Night Sisters had most of the misses, but it was still a very close match going into round 1. I mean, the Night Sisters, they got 90s, though. I mean, they didn't do very well on it. I mean, only getting 4 points, but at the same time, they did steal a point from Deep Cuts when it got to Oscars, let's be honest, Oscars is a tough category, so anybody stealing points off of Oscars is an achievement in its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, the score going in 14-18, they missed only their 3 and their 5-pointer. No, they got their 3-pointer. They missed their 5-pointer. Oh, crap. Don't worry about it. But still, it could have been one of those situations to where we could have, if we got another team match of the Night Sisters against another debuting team, maybe we could have seen, because we could have seen more chemistry or at least some more growth and potential coming out of Emma and Joelle, because they looked like they were gelling much better in the Deep Cuts match than against Team Action.
But then again, if we got more of the team, I don't think I would trade what we got after that for more of the team with the Fyffe Club.
Oh, true.
I think that's where Emma really excelled, for me anyway. what
Yeah,
she
I think
made.
Emma is a lot like Winston in that matter. She can compete, but it's probably one of those things where it takes them longer to pull the answers. She
Yeah.
knows how to play, so she can help people that have the knowledge. Just help on little things like should you spin again, use a JTE.
Mhm.
Just
Is it
stuff
worth
like that.
challenging a question? You're like, is it worth using your challenge on this question than maybe needing it down the road? Because nowadays challenges are definitely becoming more and more. They were always kind of seen as that. Like to put it in game terms, in video games, challenges were kind of like that item that you knew was important to the plot. You just didn't know exactly why it was there in your inventory. But nowadays, it's kind of like, nope, you're gonna need a lot of these now. It's like, I guess. Emma's a big Pokemon fan. I'm a big Pokemon fan. Challenges were kind of like rare candies. Use them sparingly. But then this season, everyone kept using rare candies as if they've got. They were using rare candies like they caught missing number.
Yeah, there was a point this season where I swear it was just match after match after match. There was a challenge. You could look on Christian's face. He's like,
again,
another freaking challenge.
It's like that Lion King gift with Mufasa. You dare challenge me. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's true. Like Christian, if he wanted to, literally could say no on every single challenge if he wanted to.
But but as a host, he's being open. He's like he's willing to hear them out. Like
this league is still trying to develop. It's still trying to develop. So there is a chance that certain things may be not thought out fully, might be overlooked, stuff like that. It's completely possible.
And there are times, even though the question is worded out very well, it still falls, unfortunately, to the competitor. They misinterpret the question. So it's always the interpretation that's going to come off. I mean, the best examples are always sometimes the simplest ones. Like in her match against Jay Washington in Inner Geekdom, what color lights of lightsabers did Anakin use to kill Count Dooku? And unfortunately, when they need that repeat, it almost sounds as if, wait, did they mean lightsabers or of a lightsaber? So it kind of falls into that situation.
Yeah. The question writers are extremely clever. They can, by just a letter or a word, can kind of trip up a competitor. A lot of it is just because they're only hearing it, they're not seeing it. I think if they were able to see it and read it, completely different story.
Oh, without a doubt.
I always forget when we watch the match. I always forget we're the only ones who can see the question. Like the players
Correct.
don't
On the matches that are pre-recorded, they will have it on the screen. Actually, I think in season 1 and 2 they didn't have that. Season 3, I don't think they had it either.
No, they did. No, especially when they were doing you pick certain categories and you get these 3 questions. Right. Yeah. I think sometime like the first Spectacular they started doing that, or start of season 4. And even then, when we do get the live shows, like the Throwdown, which is live, it's not pre-recorded. Sometimes like the live events.
We don't get the question on those.
Yeah, and with the Throwdowns, we do get at least like these are live questions, so you're never going to get the written text.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much that you can do in StreamYard. I mean, could you have someone like do it on like a banner like this?
Yeah.
Like you could do that, but it takes up way too much of the screen.
Yeah.
Or you could do one, hold on, like that, which is what they do for scoring purposes. But still, her next match was a very common occurrence in the early stages of Inner Geekdom. Basically, it was they did a lot of 4-ways and 5-ways, and whoever won that was the champion.
Yeah, and in those matches,
basically it was a number 1 contender, 5 competitors for a number 1 contender who would play the current champion.
Yeah.
So,
and those matches were very different. The formats, like we just talked about, like when we talked about with Jason, with Jay. Oh my God, Jeremy Johns. Jesus. It was different. It was elimination style. First
Correct.
2 rounds, and then the 3rd round was the wheel round. And then it changed.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. And then I was watching. I was like, wait, why are they doing question number 1? I was like, oh, wait, I forgot. With these ones, it was like the first 2 rounds were basically the same thing. You get 10 questions.
If you get 6 points, you're automatically in the next round. The person with the least points are eliminated. Yeah.
And then I also noticed in a couple of those rounds, they had the same category more than once because they didn't have 10 yet. They didn't have 10 yet. So there were a couple times where it was like MCU twice. There was a couple where Star Wars
twice, Star Wars twice, Marvel, MCU twice. Like you get 2 Marvel questions, then MCU. Like in this 5-way. After that first round of questions, when Charlie Feldman got eliminated, Marvel was brought up twice. DC was brought up twice. MCU and DCE were only once, but then in the first round, Star Wars was also brought up twice, along with Marvel. I mean, and Lord of the Rings. So the questions were the categories were definitely limited. There was nothing they could do about it at the time because
now they don't have that problem at all.
Nope.
You will almost rarely. I mean, you'll have the same 10 in round 1. That's it. And in round 2, you have there are so many that they can pull from now. It's my favorite division is Intergeekdom, mainly because it's the only one that I can keep up with. When I'm watching singles and teams, I might get 2 or 3 points in round 1. Intergeekdom, it's like 6 to 7. So I just feel better while I'm playing. I could compete in Intergeekdom. Could I be at the top with a Kalinowski and Ellison or Chandru? Not yet. But I feel like I could get a couple wins there against the lesser competitors.
Or you at least get to at least have yourself a fun match. Really, just doing.
I would make it to round 3. I would be able to make it to round 3. Depending on who the competitor is, I might get a win. I might not get a win there. So we shall see.
But I know with Emma, she definitely had some more Intergeekdom matches, especially in season 5 when she got inserted into Mike's Intergeekdom tournament. And her first match was against Jay Washington, which definitely got her. I think
they had a rivalry at this point.
Yeah, that was
after the Manager Bowl, where he was so mad that he lost to Emma in that match. I was like, Jay, you also lost a Finn stuff.
Yeah, but it was more upsetting to him because, oh my God, that post-match interview with Riley, as he's just venting to him.
Dude, am I angry? Of course I'm angry.
He's like, I was only supposed to challenge that stupid dude, Dagnito. And then all of a sudden, Hayberg gets himself involved. And then Emma gets herself involved because she doesn't
I don't know why Hayberg was in there. He
represented critically acclaimed, but yeah, it was like he's not a great player.
No, but she actually had another match before Jay against Janine. But she said she never wanted to do singles, even though before this match she was 1-0 in singles because the Manager Bowl counts as the singles. I was so confused. I was watching that match against Janine. She was 1-0. I was like, she hasn't been in singles. And I kept thinking, I'm like, the Manager Bowl counts as a singles division, so that's why she is considered 1-0. But like she said in that post match, she never wanted to compete in singles. She was challenged, and her and the Fyffe Club never backed down from a challenge. So anyone can throw anything back.
They never back down. Okay.
Yeah.
Emma's the manager. She's the leader. She's the one who's guiding the Fyffe Club. Of course, if she's challenged, what's she gonna do? Like Dagnino, just like, I don't do that anymore. Yeah. I'm not that kind of guy I'm not that kind of guy who plays anymore. I manage people. If you want to go and
this moment right here was so great.
Yeah, Leo. I did not want to mention that.
I would have given it to you, but she put not Guillermo del Toro.
That's unfortunately that's one thing I like about Emma. She's very clever and witty, but sometimes when you want to,
she had a lot of them where she had no clue what the answer was, had no idea, so she just come up with something clever.
Yeah, like even in the draft bowl, when it came questions out, she's just like, "Oh, I just wrote write an answer on your board when it's blank. Just write a question or just write an answer on your board." And then, of course, when she played against, even against Janine, other than the not Guillermo del Toro, she always had this nice, relaxed energy on her. Like it really wasn't like there was no stakes involved. I mean, there were stakes involved, but she played it as if, this is just a regular game. That's why I liked her as an interviewer, because she tries to treat it as a casual conversation. So she always tries to play every game as if it's just a good game amongst friends, even though she is aware of the wrestling aspects in the Schmoedown.
I got a question for you, fellas. So Emma has been involved in various different areas within the Schmoedown. Yes. For you personally, what do you remember her most for? Is it her being an Inner Geekdom, manager of Fyffe Club, on the desk, post-match interviews?
Ben, why don't you start off?
For me, I would say is the time when she was managing the Fyffe Club.
Yeah, I think
that family dynamic just really worked. It worked so well that they promoted her to commissioner. And I think people forget about that sometimes.
Yeah, it would have. I would have loved to have seen how far or how many title defenses the Shirewolves could have done if they weren't like I think the fan comments were they were getting so outrageous that
they were ridiculous. Honestly, I was angry.
One of my favorite quotes and moments in Schmoedown history is Clark Wolf saying, "We are the league. There's not a women's division. We are."
Exactly. It summoned so much. And also, I wanted to actually, there is one moment about Emma I do want to talk about, but I will bring up later. But one thing about Emma is that she is not afraid to really not hype. Really, talk about the positives of her. That's why whenever the Shirewolves or whenever anybody else like Mark, Clark, or Rachel were playing matches, who was there with her? Who was with them every step of the way? Emma was there. Because as a manager, she was supportive, she was hands-on, but at the same time, she was mainly there just for the emotional support for her players, which is why was one of the reasons why I heavily, heavily gravitated to her as a manager with the Fyffe Club, because
this is literally everything she's done. Yeah.
Everything.
She's been everywhere. She's also just like helped at live events. Like she would kind of be like a MC before, getting the crowd hyped up. She's done everything.
Yep.
Exactly. Even the Discord as well, party.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, she helps with the Discord there. There was, I think, April. I was at the tier where you got a coaching session, and I first talked to her, and she kind of talked to me, figuring out what times and dates work so that she could communicate it to the competitor. So she did so much. She did so much. I hope we get back. Now, let's kind of move on to our last segment here. Something new we're doing here. Top 5 moments. I will go ahead and start. For me, number 5 is up to this point, Emma was pretty much missed post-match interviews. She did, in season 4, she did a majority of them. She then had a match, so they had to find someone to do it. This is who they got.
I'm not going to lie, this is a little weird.
I feel a lot more at home here than I do out at the table there. Like, this feels a lot more natural. Yeah. I think that's...
Okay, yeah, that clip didn't work as well as I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. StreamYard, they want to be it. StreamYard are just dicks to everybody.
Yeah, it's just the clip was a little bit longer, and...
Yeah, that was pretty much after her 5-way match when she decided to play. Yeah, Jen Sturger was there, and the back and forth between those two is amazing, which is why I also want to talk about my 5-pointer, which is my number 5. My number 5. Sorry, I'm too much of the Schmoedown ass talk. My number 5 on my list is her post interview with Jen after her loss to Jason Inman,
that's what this one is.
Yeah,
this is the one against Jason.
Yeah, sorry.
Actually, I can still play it if I do a share screen because I actually have the clip.
I think we could, yeah. But while you're sharing it, let's see. Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, it's the same one. I got those two confused.
A lot more natural. I think that's what it is. It's like if I could just have a mic in my hand at the table, like I'd feel more in my element, and maybe I'd do better.
Maybe we work that out for you next time.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
perfect.
definitely a little weird. Interviewer
that.
on interviewer. It's pretty cool. That was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so weird.
It wasn't
like it must have felt so weird for her to just be on the other side.
Yeah, and I also want to add. I was going to add on to that, Leo, as well. Yeah, she got very emotional after the loss. Like it was one of those rare moments with some competitors where she was, kind of questioning her medal. But it was in that interview that she and Jen had like a very great moment with each other, where Jen was being very reassuring to her, really exclaiming that we needed more women like her and like more representation that we still do need in the Schmoedown. And it was just that situation that I love the fact that Emma just, even if she wasn't going to be a major competitor, I still love the fact that if they asked her to play, she was willing to say yes, because female representation was so needed.
Probably one of those things that Clark and Rachel were. There was probably just kept being rude comments either in the Facebook group, the YouTube videos, or on Twitter. Just there is a very small it's very small. There is a very small section of the Schmoedown community that is very not happy when there are female competitors involved and they do well.
Yeah,
I don't even want to go down that trail, but
we really don't have to. They can stay in the Shadowlands for all I care. But if they ever pop out from that elephant graveyard, we are going to attack you. Like
it happened.
A lion.
It happened a couple months ago, and we all So, Ben, what's your number 5?
My number 5. It's hard for me to pick just one, but I love the whole two commissioner thing with her and Sam, and then I just love seeing how much she took it seriously when it looked like a character, not Sam, but the character Sam playing. Then took it as like
he doesn't care at all. He didn't care at all.
Relaxed approach, yeah. Like he was just there. He was like that was also an honorable mention on mine, Ben. I love that the back and forth between Emma and Sam. Like Emma wants to be the hands-on manager, making sure the rules are enforced, people are getting their fair share of matches, and Sam just kind of walks in and he's like, "Okay, I'm just here to collect the paycheck and I'm on my way out," which led to that great cutscene between Emma and Sam, to where Sam said, "You know what? I thought about what you said, and I wanted to give Chance a match," which led to him making Chance versus Emma, because Emma was a ranked competitor at the time. And I thought that was a good tease there, because it looked like it was teasing storyline-wise maybe another bowl, but it was going to be between Sam and Emma. But then, of course, storylines felt kind of spread out. Oh, my God. It was... that could have been one heck of a feud. I would have loved to see more cutscenes of Sam and Emma feuding, to where it's polite gestures and then it just leads to cold, distant stares, to where they just start getting petty amongst each other.
So, number 4 for me was already brought up in the chat by Leo, not Guillermo del Toro. That one made me laugh because I'm watching the match. I'm like, it's Guillermo del Toro, isn't he? Like, Hellboy, the first Hellboy, I'm thinking Guillermo del Toro, and I watch. She goes, not Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. I'm like, oh no! Like, if you just would have not put like, you probably could have had Guillermo del Toro, but said not Guillermo del Toro, and I think Mark was basically insinuating they would have accepted, but you wrote not Guillermo del Toro.
Exactly. She
had a lot of moments like that too, where she didn't know the answer whatsoever, and she just wrote something clever. It was great.
Yeah. Or it's like she was on the tip of the process of knowing the answer, but it's not until it's over she's like, damn it, I knew it.
Yeah, there was another one where it was an inner geekdom. It was a scores and soundtracks type question.
Was
she's like,
was it against Mara? No, I think it was against Mara. What was it, the Star Trek question? Like, what song did the crew use in Beyond to destroy the
yes.
Yes. they both were on the same page. It was the Beastie Boys, but it was like so close. If Emma had just written down maybe Sabotage, she would have got it. But she wrote Intergalactic because it kind of seemed to fit with the space theme.
That was both their that was Emma's second single Intergeekdom match because the ones prior were always like 5-ways.
No, actually, her third because her first single Intergeekdom was against Inman. Then it was Washington.
Yeah,
and then it was in Mara.
This was Mara's second, so she hadn't gotten to that level that she was there at the end of that tournament. I hope we get Mara back.
Yeah, because Emma was ahead of her after round 1, and Emma. Of course, if Emma had gotten something like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, we would have had a different match, but she got Marvel movies instead. So it was kind of like she just had to, once again, play it safe and navigate. If she knew a question, then she would know it.
Yeah, like I said during our Smashathon special, I want Smet's first match to be back up against Mara, both of them, because they're both battling some health problems. So I think it'd just be
definitely wish them the speediest of recoveries. We want them back healthy as well. Oh, that one! Oh my God, that was an honorable mention as well, Leo. I mean, actually, it was this close of overtaking my 5 because that was a good set of circumstances. That Drop Dead Fred match, because that question in the draft bowl, because it was a week after that. It was a week before that. I was listening to a podcast, How Did This Get Made? And they were doing an episode talking about Drop Dead Fred. So the moment I was watching that and that question popped up, I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. I was literally on the edge of my seat, just like, oh my God, I think she knows this. I think she knows this. And then she got it wrong. I'm like, damn it. I wanted her to go 3-0 against Dagnito to keep that streak going.
So Ryan, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is kind of a cheat, honestly, because it's all of her entrances. Pretty much, you want to talk about, everyone talks like Bibbs, Brienne, with great entrances. Let's not forget Emma herself also had some great entrances as well. They may have not been as highly theatrical, but she was down into dressing up like Brienne, like Rachel, even though Roka, he's always doing the mask and the outlaw gimmick, but she loved the idea of coming out, which is as a character. Like in the Night Sisters, she's wielding dual lightsabers, doing the whole Jedi hooded figure. She did that again in her match against Janine, coming out to Rey's theme. And then, of course, dressing as Khaleesi against Mara Kanapik. And then, of course, dressing in all Harry Potter garb against Jay Washington. And of course, her match against Chance. She's coming out looking like Sandy from Greece, which leads to my favorite line. My favorite line from Ellis. Ellis says, "This is when Chance, we was a boy, and now I think he's now become a man."
Ben, you're number 4?
The manageable when he won, right? Yeah.
That's actually my number 1 moment, and I was gonna actually play that
clip.
clip.
Actually,
Yeah, that was number 1 there for me. For me, whenever I think Emma Fyffe, it's that when she wins that match.
Yeah.
And how excited she gets. I do have that clip. I will play it when I talk about it there at number 1. Number 3 for me. So in the Harry Potter exhibition match last year, she was on the desk.
yes.
Only because I think if she was in the match, it wouldn't be close. It wouldn't even be fair. It was great though. Roka got so frustrated in that match. I'm not sure what. I think they just needed another competitor. And they're like, who wants to do it? And Roka's probably like, I'll do it. So,
and the Harry Potter match was delightful, honestly. Despite Roka getting frustrated, we see Kevin Smith do his knowledge in Harry Potter. We get Kim, and oh my God, pretty much the highlight for me was Aaron Zex. That is somebody. Christian. People are most likely were on the Facebook post, but Christian had said what female talent or who you think you'd want to suggest. I would love to see Erin come back and play in an IG match or even have her in a teams match. She had such a great, bubbly personality. Yeah. And she broke everybody at that table. She broke Smets, Roka, Emma, literally everyone in the audience, she got a laugh out of.
Yeah, she was simply great there. Your number 3 moment for the Golden Knight.
My number 3 moment is her winning the Commish Bowl, actually, because that match, just like my number 2 of the Manager Bowl, literally could have gone either way. I mean, earlier on, Dagnito was ahead.
It was so great because Christian's like, it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm gonna become the chairman. It was like
It was
how
awesome.
the end of that transpired was it's one like I didn't see it coming whatsoever.
That's
That-
actually my number 3 too.
Yeah, the reveal that the Mike's corruption storyline turned out to be nothing but Christian's long chess game to get the power back.
to get fat out of there.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. Even went to sudden death though. We got rid of Dagnito. It just led to sudden death between Thad, Emma, and Christian. And even that commissionable match
And
too.
went
like,
one question, and Emma got it.
yeah. And the funny part too with Christian, in one of his questions when it was sports, and he immediately just mutters Major League and like in Major League.
It was great. Yeah, I'm like, oh, sports movies. You go Major League. Oh, that's top 5 baseball movie for me right there.
Same here.
Ben, number 3.
It was the same, commissionable.
All right.
I love the ending to it, and it was great when she won.
Yeah. And I saw the. Oh no, you go ahead, Ben. Keep going.
No, I didn't love the. I guess you could call it the long con from the lawyer Christian hired way back in the previous year, where I had to go back and look it up to see. Holy shit, he was there.
Yeah,
The whole
Thad
time.
was only there for storyline purposes. Once
Yep.
once he wasn't the commissioner anymore, there's no reason for him to be involved.
I mean, he was mainly still doing like behind the scenes stuff, just like
Yeah.
a lot of people.
So yeah, so that was your number 3. My number 2, the promo with the Shire Wolves against Team Action at that live event. Frickin' A, that was so good. Whoo! I got so. I
That's
was
my
like,
number
ooh.
1. That's
Okay.
my number 1.
So me and you flipped. So that was my number
Okay.
2. Your number 2 is when she wins the Manager Bowl.
Yeah.
So Ben, your number 2.
My number 2 is the Emma and Mama match with the what do you
Zac
call it?
Efron cut out.
Yeah, Zac Efron cut out. And I don't know why I found that so funny, and how
You can see it. You see Mara showing her humor. I mean, it was fantastic.
It was truly great. It was truly great there. So my number 1, I was gonna go more in depth on basically a quick version of kind of how the 5 Club kind of came together. Ryan,
Yeah.
you talk about your number 1 moment there with that promo.
Well, I definitely will talk about my number 1. I will definitely talk about that. I was there in live audience, like around like first 2 rows when Emma cut that promo.
Wait, you were at that? So you saw the 5 Horsemen reveal?
Yes, I think I
So
still have a recording
jealous.
of it. I still have a recording of that 5 Horsemen reveal being in that front row. Oh my god, it was amazing.
I wish I could have been there for that.
yeah,
one.
me too.
But with that promo too, like when she starts off, that promo enough still. I mean, when she's just describing the facts of what Clark Wolf and Rachel have done in their careers as singles competitors to now, with Rachel getting better and better in inner geekdom to where they are now as a team. As Shar was sure they just came off 1 win, but still, Emma talked about why these 2 are dangerous competitors, why they are so good, and especially that same season, both Rachel and Clark came this close to taking that belt away from Sam Levine. Either one of them becoming single
The
champions.
speed round got Clark against Sam. That speed round.
I think it was sudden death against Clark. Speed round got Rachel, actually.
Okay, it was one of them where with the speed round, which is kind of funny, Sam and Rachel there.
Nobody knew at that time. No one knew.
Sam is just a beast on the buzzer. He is just a beast on the buzzer.
Yeah.
I personally in the speed round prefer the buzzer.
And then even after Emma's speech, her and Mark coming out just dressed as just great characters, complimenting the Fight Club theme music. I even got a chance to get 2 of the Fight Club soap bars that they were throwing out there. Unfortunately, I used one of them when I went to Spectacular 5. But still, that entire experience was incredible. Just seeing a great match and a great pro. I mean, no offense, Team Action are great, but after Emma's promo, no offense, Drew and Ben had nothing on her. All they could do as combat was that, Shower Wolves are not on stage. All they had to do was talk about how great we are to our fans. Emma literally just said
that might be her best promo that she ever did.
Yes. Actually, it was sort of a cheat at first, my number one. It's going to be all of her promos involving the Shire Wolves. But yeah, that's
cheating. You've already done that once
with the
before.
Entrances. That's why I changed. That's why I had an asterisk on it, because I knew after entrances it wouldn't be done again. It's just Emma. You see her not as manager. She is a great talker. Either as interviewer, on the desk, even during the times of Spectacular before Jen took over, talking with all the other competitors, like during the pre-shows. Emma was amazing on the mic. It's one of the reasons why I can see why Christian hired her, why he brought her on, why she's quick-witted, she's very intelligent, she has a great personality, and she loves of course she loves all things geek. I swear, if I actually met her during my college years, I would have.
I went to free.
I would have become fast friends with her.
Yeah, I went to Free for All 3, the live one in Los Angeles. Nice. I met her afterwards, and I got a picture with her. It was pretty cool.
Speaking of Spectacular 5, I actually did get this Fight Club shirt signed by her. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, that's we're not gonna be able to see it. Stupid webcams.
Yeah, I wish I should not have worn this shirt. Instead, it would just be kind of like,
Ryan hashtag something lab.
Fight Club is back.
Oh,
No.
It was at the time when Emma, at Spectacular 5 when she was still signed on as a manager. So it was just kind of like, I was so looking forward to it. And then, of course, afterward it was gone. That was like my biggest heartbreak. I love Kate, what she's doing, but it's like those biggest, we'll never knows with Emma.
All right, here is my number one moment.
Favorite answer. All right, so now it comes down to this. Emma Fyffe needs to hit. She needs to hit this 5-pointer. If she does, she wins the Manager Bowl. If she misses it, Tom Dagnino wins it. Emma Fyffe for 5 points. Okay. And the win of the first inaugural Manager Bowl. You selected number 16. That corresponds to the category titled Charlize Theron Movies.
Okay.
And your question is, which animal was voiced by Charlize in Kubo and the Two Strings?
Oh, a baboon. It's like she's a baboon with it's kind of what it is. It's a Japanese sort of monkey.
Your winner, winning the first Manager Bowl, the Golden Mike!
Dagnino was so pissed. He was so pissed because she said baboon, and then later on she says it's like a monkey, and he was gonna challenge.
I mean, she was being specific. I mean, Christian gave that there was all that time for her to explain, and I can understand where he was coming from, but it was still the same thing.
So I'm going to just play a couple more clips on basically a really short story on how the Fight Club came together. Here's her first competitor, which this isn't a Fyffe moment, it's more of a and Draco moment. And this one I was contemplating including, but
Fyffe's first competitor. What? Wait a minute. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Mark and Draco's part of the Lions. Mark and Draco wearing the tattered hobo clothes. Mark and Draco's part of the Lions then. I don't know.
Yeah, Dagnino was like,
smile at that moment. And it had
this too. He's like, you're a buffoon.
And even Mark, even when Tom was making the jab at Mark, he was like, oh, I didn't know they were selling crack outside the store, outside the warehouse. And then Emma's great response was, well, if there's anyone who knows about smoking crack, it's you. That's why the rivalry
first competitor. She got a second competitor. Unfortunately, we never saw this come to pass, but he was a part of the Fyffe Club for a bit.
Prayed for death. You know what I'm saying? That feeling when you're just like, this is great. It's done. Shoot me.
Yeah.
Hi, excuse me. Sorry. This is really weird for me to interrupt an interview. I'm so used to having mine. Could I borrow this for a second?
Sure. Emma Fyffe, ladies and gentlemen.
I was thinking more like
Star Wars
this.
Schmoedown.
Yes. Mark and I are starting a little faction of champions here in the Schmoedown. Champions of good and of justice and everything that the Lion's Den, whom Ken Knapsack has aligned himself with, stands against. And no pressure, but we would love to work with you.
If it means battling evil, I'm in.
Well,
Is there evil to be conquered?
there is
So much evil.
Wait. Okay, so are you guys starting a faction here? Sam, are you joining Emma Fyffe and Mark Andrekou to battle the evil in the Schmoedown right now? What's your answer?
Sure. Why not?
That is unbelievable.
This
I'm
is a
sorry.
smart man. I'm going to
This
give
is-
this back
this
to
is
you.
unbelievable.
Congratulations
I can't-
again, Sam.
Mark Yodi Riley here with the Star Wars champion.
So, Ryan, you love that one?
I forgot how good Mark is as an interviewer.
His face was, he's like, whoa.
Did the glasses down.
He glasses down, like right here, just like,
he knows every moment.
This was his last match. This was Whitworth's last match.
Yeah.
He was with the Fyffe Club. He was supposed to face
Damon.
Alex Damon. I think it was Collision that next year.
Yes, it was.
And we got the Bruce Green match, which I don't want to talk about.
But even then, just like during that time, Sam was a part of the Fyffe Club, not doing a lot of cutscenes, but he was a part of the Fyffe Club. He did join them, and it was just like one of those
never got a match, and we're never gonna get that match. Yeah. Unfortunately, Sam has basically said he's done with the Schmoedown. And
I think I did mention this when we were talking about Joseph Scrimshaw, or I did reference this, but Sam Whitworth was pretty much, he was like Rick Rude to Fyffe Club's D-Generation X, to where he was there in the beginning, but then you don't remember him in the long run. You remember the core people involved.
Yeah, the Andrekou. And here's one of my favorite cutscenes that has ever been done.
Yeah, you know what? That was a ton of fun. I'm so excited to be back in the ring. We are going to do such great things this year. But yeah, so I'm excited to meet up and talk about all of this. And you know what? My partner just got here. All right, we'll see you in a bit. All right, bye. Hey, partner. Let's go.
Oh, did you think that we were going to leave you hanging again? Of course it's me. Shire Wolves.
Yeah, okay. Okay, great. So I'll figure out a time to meet with you. We can talk about it later.
Actually, how about we do it now?
Oh, yep. Okay.
Yep.
So what are you guys thinking?
We talked it over, and your offer to join your faction next month, that's not really going to work for us.
Listen, I totally understand. You guys have both been performing really well.
No. We want to join you now.
That's amazing.
I saw there like a couple seconds before Mark pops up, you see the top of his head.
I know, but it still gets me.
It's so great. Like the Shire Wolves, I wish that they would have been able to stay. I wanted to see what kind of run that they could have went on. Yeah. Like, could they have gone on a Patriots type run there? It would have been really great to see.
But even then, the matches we still got, the Shire Wolves were
That's amazing.
That's amazing. We still got good matches. We still got great matches out of the Shire Wolves. I mean, they didn't do the tournaments runs, but even then, they still had great matches. I mean, all of their questions, every match they did always ended towards the third round outside of their match against Sick in the Head, but still, we got great matches out of the Shire Wolves with Critically Acclaimed, The Odd Couple, Team Action, World's Finest, even their first match against the Lion's Den. They were an amazing team, and during that early run, Emma was I think perfect fit for them as a manager.
She worked extremely well for them. Charwolves is one of my top 5 favorite teams of all time. They are one of those rare teams where they mesh so well. Like one competitor has somewhat of a weakness, but the other one fills that. So it's like it's really hard to stump them. The only way you do it is in round 1 because they can't converse there. So,
Brian, exactly. It's one of the reasons why Emma was also great as a.
Shut up.
I think his team must have. Yeah. It's also another reason why Emma was a great manager, because you look with what things that managers do, they help make their players improve their players' game. Because if we look at Mark Andreyko, during the time of the Lions Den, he may have had good matches, but he never really did come out on top, or it wasn't like his highlights there. But his only good performances was against his debut match against Bibiani when he was pretending to be Finstock against Kuga, and as a partner with Robert Bernez, Blofeld's cat. But when he got represented by Emma,
that was the start of him really developing as a competitor.
Yes.
Loxley has just taken it to a whole nother level.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, his first match he beats Ben Bateman. He wins a triple threat match against Janine and Stacy, which in all records was his match to lose, but he still kept playing and held out strong. Then he played again, and then he played against Bibiani. Came just like Clark and like Rachel, so close to becoming champion. Singles champion. That was the one belt that eluded the Five Club, was the singles championship. And
they had 3 of them that were so close. All 3 of them were so close to that singles belt. So,
even during the singles tournament, the shortened singles tournament, Andreyko and Clark Wolf were involved, and it got to Clark playing against Dan at Spectacular for #1 contendership match. So. And then, of course, we had Charles beating Who's the Boss. So Emma really has her mettle proven as a manager.
Yeah. So just a simple name there, but I had a blast, you guys, talking about the Golden Mike.
Any final thoughts?
She was underappreciated in the Schmoedown. She did a lot of things that I think a lot of people take her for granted for. The fact that she literally touched everything within the Schmoedown. Singles,
everything was
games, Inner Geekdoms, Desk, post-match, Discord, Patreon. Like, she was all over the place.
Whoever she interacted with, whoever she had fun talking to, whether if they were not as memorable as you would, even if they were not your highlights, she still made a strong impression. And you know how strong of an impression she still has on the Schmoedown? Like on the Schmoedown gifts? I will immediately just click in the Schmoedown on Facebook and look what I find. One of the first gifts. Emma there. I keep scrolling. There's another Emma gif.
Yeah.
Her legacy, I believe, is not just secured, but she still has a very long impact.
She can still come back. She didn't retire. She's just not involved. There's a difference.
She can come back as an interview. She can come back as an interviewer again, or rarely, just like Ken. Now she can maybe host a couple of matches, so then you still get to see her. The door is still open. Ben, how about you, man?
I mean, I'm just going to echo everything you said. She's great. It's awesome that she has a finger on every part of the Schmoedown, from a competitor to a manager to a commissioner, to a Patreon, to the Discord. I mean, she's great.
Yeah, that's one thing we do need to talk about. She did so well for the Patreon and Discord, really helped building the Schmoedown community. I mean, when the Discord started, it was big. Like, it was.
I mean, it's still like no one's in there, but I think a lot of people don't know how to navigate it or don't like using it.
Emma was always responsive. She always responded to people's questions or complaints. So she was very hands-on with the Discord, including the Patreon as well, as you mentioned before, Brandon, with Emma reaching out to you, like arranging times. I even had the same issues when it came with pay issues with the Schmoedown. I would call out, she'd respond right back. And it was just, it was those situations you see that she's not just she really was a great fit for the Schmoedown. I see she's moving on. She's doing other things. She's part of the Venn network now, like as a host. And
she has her Twitch that she's on fairly often. So
yeah. So
just quickly talk about Brian's question. How do you think she would have done? Would she have done better than Kate did, or do you think
she was more experienced?
Yeah, she was more experienced, but so much of the stuff this year was online, and it's a hard thing to give a manager a fair shake on how good of or not good of a manager that they are, because the Schmoedown is not meant to be online matches. It's meant to be studio and live event matches. So anyone that struggled this year, like Sam, Kate,
even Roxy had a couple of
she struggled at first, I think, with the online format, but right now doing incredibly well. Snyder is, in my opinion, he's a real contender for Player of the Year.
Let's not forget Alex Damon was really one of her top players.
Dude, he got so many out. There was a point in the season where he had all of the factions points.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was just him. It wasn't until when the Odd Couple started playing more, or when Draco started playing more. I mean, look, I love Roxy. I will not strike her down. I mean, just like with Emma, she was one of the first early female managers. Yeah. If she was given more time or more, I mean, she had a lot of projects around that time. She was doing a lot of after shows, and she was doing a lot of podcasts and video reviews with Only Stupid Answers. So I don't blame her if she didn't have the time. I think she could have been on the same paring as Emma during that time as a manager, because what we've seen with the Odd Couple, how she carried from what she carried the torch from what Emma did with Mark and Draco, and she definitely, you see her, she is the angel on Snyder's shoulder, making sure he is not stuck in his head.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah.
If Mike ever went babyface again, not babyface, but if he ever went face again, could you see him working well with Roxy again?
Well, Roxy is a heel. She is classified as a heel manager.
Okay. I think she's more of a chaotic neutral, a lawful evil people.
Mike will only be with Shannon.
Yeah.
I think he would rather not play than play for anyone else. I've had Snyder on my Schmoedown podcast twice now. He speaks so highly of Roxy. He is the reason. Roxy is the reason why Snyder's doing so well this season.
Yeah. I don't know. And as a Patreon video, Drew, whenever she did her little video hangouts, one time Snyder came on and there was a quick conversation. Yeah, he definitely talked about how great Roxy is. And I follow Roxy. I watch her show. I even watch not just her live with Roxy, but also the World Girls. I patron of the Worlds.
Dude, World Girls is so hilarious.
They are incredible.
Those three have great chemistry. I would love to see a live version of that once we can start doing stuff there live.
Believe me, I will pay to attend a live version of the World Girls. Just like when Top 10 did one of their live shows in LA, I went to actually go see that. And if we had actually if this Riley's Cantina, even though it was streamed live, he wanted it to be a live show, I would have paid to have gone to a Riley's Cantina. Just the content they are giving us are incredible.
Yeah. So we were speaking about the Patreon, how well Emma did with that. She was number 2. The first one that did it is the competitor we're talking about next week, Miss Brienne, Miss Movies Chandler.
Woo woo! And we might have a long top 5 list on what her best entrances are.
I think that's what we should do. Top 5 best moments. You could probably include Free for All, but I feel like it should just be her top 5 best entrances.
I never heard that.
So yeah, that will be fun. Everyone, we appreciate everyone for tuning in today. It was a blast.
Thank you very much.
About the golden mic there. Make sure
if you're catching the replay, guys, leave a comment below. You know, tell us if you're enjoying what's happening so far. We do love to hear feedback. And also, you can also comment on our Twitter, Mount Schmoedown, as well. Like, you can comment on our little. It's a pinned tweet for MF5, but even then, you can still send us a comment on any of our shared tweets and say how much you've been enjoying it, or if there's a competitor you definitely want to see on here. I mean, we are covering Miss Movies. If there's anyone else, if there's any competitor you want us to cover who you see as overlooked or underrated in the Schmoedown, don't be afraid to share it amongst us, because we have a long list, guys. We're not slowing down. We are still just getting started.
Yes, and also, maybe you can't watch us live on video. We are an audio podcast form. We are on Anchor. Let's go there, search Mount Schmoedown. Also, in the description of the video, you'll find all of our socials: Twitter, our Facebook group, our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our personal Twitters. Everything is in their description below. I will start actually putting all our past episodes there on the podcast. Right now, only the first 2 are on there. I need to get on that and put the rest on there.
Hey, don't worry. We're all busy.
So we will see you guys. Oh, sorry. I forgot to say. We will not be live next Saturday, as it is the Schmoedown Spectacular. We will be extremely busy watching that and losing our goddamn shit, because there's going to be shit going down at Spectacular.
Well, the 19th. The 19th
is our, which is 2 weeks from today. That will be our next live discussion on Miss Movies. Just keep an eye out on the socials. We will post everything on there as well. See everyone later.